Enjoy every minute of your life. Be close to your family, be close to your friends, and have compassion and understanding for other people. Those are words spoken by my grandfather during one of his media interviews last year when he was undergoing radiation treatments in Miami. I'll be honest, when I was asked to speak here today before all of you, I was first of all humbled and honored, but I also had this overwhelming sense and feeling that nothing I said here today could truly live up to or capture the essence of my grandfather or the message that he represents. The person who became a global internet sensation, not for his looks or his success, but for his heart. So that's why today I'll speak from my heart and hope to give you all a bit of insight into who my grandfather was to all of us, the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren, and what it meant to me to be the granddaughter of Frank Caprio. I'll introduce myself as I have many times before. I'm Sophia, the judge's granddaughter. Many of you have heard me say that in your courtrooms, your homes, or in passing. Throughout my life, that's been one of the titles I'm most proud to have, the judge's granddaughter, and I forever will be. As I was thinking of which quote to start off with this morning, I watched back many of my grandfather's videos and interviews. That one, though, resonated with me the most because those 25 words represent everything my grandfather not only preached about, but embodied. Enjoy every minute of your life. Be close to your family, be close to your friends, and have compassion and understanding for other people. A simple message, nothing earth-shattering or groundbreaking, but nonetheless beautiful and rare, not because of the words themselves, but because my grandfather's actions and values brought those words to life. Growing up, we often hear stories about heroes, but my grandfather was my real-life hero. He was a figurehead. He walked into a room and his presence was palpable, respected and serious, yet kind, loving, and loyal. The words he spoke were always filled with importance. He never wasted any. And although he was a respected figurehead, at his core, he was a family man. His message to all of us was always this: support each other and be there for each other. In fact, that's a direct quote, and those were some of his final words to us as we all sat gathered around his hospital bed a week and a half ago. What he passed on to all of us was his steadfast love for his family. Family first is our motto, and was something my great-grandfather taught my grandfather, who taught my father, who taught me, and what I plan to teach my children someday. Growing up, I saw my grandfather pass his values and life lessons on to my dad, my uncles, and my aunt. Family first wasn't just something we said, but was something that was actively practiced. It was about being there for each other no matter the circumstances. For example, my Uncle David and my grandfather spent every single day going to the law office together and arguing their cases in courtrooms. My Uncle Frank, especially since my grandfather's cancer diagnosis 2 years ago, has never, ever left my grandfather's side. And when my grandfather's time was fleeting, you could see the comfort and relief on his face when he locked eyes with my Uncle Frank, who was always standing next to his hospital bed. My Uncle Joe spent hours and hours taping my grandfather's court proceedings with a dream of sharing him with the world someday, because he knew how special he was. My grandmother, Joyce, is the true heart and soul of our family. And my grandparents' marriage is one I will always strive to emulate in my own. "I love you dearly," was one of the last things he said to her. You see, you all may know my grandfather for his incredible success story, his brave battle with pancreatic cancer, or his beautiful message of kindness. To me, though, and to us, he was Papa, the man who taught us that family is everything. That's the kind of love he fostered, shared, and inspired within each one of us. He taught us other important values too, like faith, hard work, and education. Last year, I had the opportunity to attend a pilgrimage to Lourdes with my grandfather, father, and uncles David and Frank. For those that aren't familiar with Lourdes, people go there seeking spiritual comfort and healing, as was the case with my grandfather's pancreatic cancer. I'll never forget the moment we all went to the infamous baths and placed our hands filled with holy water on my grandfather's abdomen and prayed over him for good health. His faith was always strong. He never missed a Sunday service for decades, even when he was sick or in different parts of the country for treatment. He also stressed the importance of hard work and education. Many of you know that he was a man of humble beginnings, growing up in a cold water flat on Federal Hill in Providence, Rhode Island. He worked days and attended law school in Boston at night. I didn't learn until recently that he had a dream of attending Boston University School of Law, which is where I was lucky enough to attend. But he didn't go at the time because he couldn't afford it. He taught us all that you never, ever give up, and you always strive for more education. In his interviews, you often hear him quote what his father wrote in his yearbook growing up. "The street is wide, the road is long and very bumpy and very tough going, but I know that you will proceed along it honorably, with your head held high, to the end of the highest learning." The same way his father believed in him, he believed in all of us. That's the kind of man he was. What I'll close with here today is perhaps what my grandfather is most well known for, his compassion and kindness for others. Whether you know him personally or have watched him on TV or social media, you know that he always left the ladder down for others. He always put himself in the shoes of the person before him. He always let people know that he cared. My ask of you today is that in his memory, we all leave here and strive to make the world a better place just as he did. May we, in his memory, put our hand on someone's shoulder or help them in a time of crisis. In your courtrooms, your classrooms, your offices, homes, or precincts, lift someone up. It's easy to get caught up in our own lives or our titles or our privileges, but he showed us it doesn't take much to make a difference. Kindness and compassion can truly change the world.